What's up, guys? This is Samuel from Audionerdz. Today we have something of a little reaction, and this comes from Noir et Blanc V, a medium-sized YouTube channel that has really good, cool production, I believe. And normally I'm not big into reaction content if it's not transformative and interesting in some way. But this is my favorite synthesizer, so I want to give it a shot and just watch that with you. I didn't previously watch that video, so we're going in blind, which makes the thing even more interesting. Let's go.
Almost unlimited modulation potential, upwards of 100 voices of polyphony, 5.1 surround sound hardware capabilities, 6 channels of audio over USB, SPDIF in and out, an included plugin, and 16-part multi-timbrality. You could search your favorite online store looking for the pre-order button, anticipating the soon-to-be-released GOAT, this godlike synthesizer of the future, only to find out it came out almost 20 years ago. This is the Access Virus TI, and there will never...
He's so right about that. The Access Virus TI just holds up incredibly well in a modern environment, and also specs-wise.
Ever be another one. On August 21st, 2023, a post on the virus.info forum read, Virus TI Polar and Darkstar removed from major music retailer catalogs and Kemper shop. A user stated, "It looks like Kemper quietly killed production of the new units and we'll never see that Mac OS update." Then, on February 7, 2024, Amazon.de released an article entitled, "It's official, production of the Access Virus TI2 has been discontinued," stating, "As many people have already suspected it, Access mastermind Christoph Kemper has confirmed to us that the Access Virus TI2 has no longer been produced for a few months." For years and years, I'd faithfully seen brand new TI2s available in almost every music shop, still sporting similar price tags to their original 2009 prices without fail.
I just have a guy who was sending me messages on Instagram that follows the channel and knows that I am a virus expert of some sort, and he just got one of the last units. There are still units around. This video it came out 8 days ago, so there is still units, but those are the last units. He said he got one of the last ones in his, I guess, area. And it might be right. I'm not checking right now because I want to watch more of the video, but it's crazy that now is the last chance. And when I'm looking at my virus, the most used virus in the world, so yeah, I mean, it works perfectly, but it definitely saw some use.
I went over the history of the Access virus in a video from 2018, so watch that if you want a full recap. While doing my research for this video, I realized that Christoph may have left many hints of the virus's demise, or at least change of direction right in front of us that we may have never noticed. The original Virus TI was released in 2005, with a more powerful TI2 being released in 2009. It can be difficult to tell the two apart as the majority of the changes are under the hood. The TI2 sported a 25% faster processor, allowing more polyphony, more effects, and a slight change in the physical design. The first thing I think anyone will know...
Yeah, the TI2 is more beautiful, and I fortunately have a TI2, and it's a little bit more powerful in the DSP department. So what it really means is that I never ran into limits DSP-wise on the virus, but there is ways. If you use multi-channel and a lot of reverbs in a lot of extreme settings, then you can put a TI1 to its knees and probably a TI2, if you really aim for it. But you have to do specific things that require a lot of DSP.
Notice about the TI is the sheer number of presets. It's insane. Over 4,000. 3 oscillators per voice, virtual analog, wavetable, hypersaw, grain, and 4-man table types. A maximum of 192 parallel effects in total, 2 independent multi-mode filters, and an analog filter, which was modeled after the Moog Mini Moog. Technically
Yeah, the filter sounds so good of the virus. I don't know any other thing. I never had one in my studio, at least. Never had a Moog.
speaking, the Virus TI is a beast. Unfortunately, with great power comes the need for great chips. The Motorola 56K DSPs to be exact. In 2012, Motorola discontinued these chips, and where NXP took over the 56K, they now look to be discontinued as well. As most of you know, the Access Virus and the Kemper Profiler are connected, and this chip is the link, being both used in the Kemper Profiler and Access Virus. So the future of both platforms seems uncertain in my opinion. In January of 2010, Christoph was interviewed about updates coming to the Access Virus TI. I listened to this interview, and while in German, I can hear how much more guitar amp modeling is important to Christoph. He states,
I did watch that interview myself, and yeah, he just moved on. That's it. He totally moved on, sadly, because he's a genius. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's, I think, majorly responsible for the design of the virus, as far as I understood. And there probably were other people, 100% coders and so forth, I mean, that worked in a team with him, but it's quite frankly an ingenious design. So the guy seems to be, quite frankly, super out there when it comes to capability of understanding what musicians need from different fields, because now he's more into guitar pedals and stuff, which is so funny. He's the designer of the greatest synthesizer of all time, in my opinion, and he just moved on to get guitar pedals, and that's that. And there is a crowd of thousands of music producers that love his synthesizer, and they don't wait, but we all would wish for an updated virus. Wouldn't it be crazy? But I think it probably will truly never happen.
this year we added 6 new guitar distortion boxes to the virus in the form of analog modeling, stomp boxes like the Tube Screamer and Big Muff in the character section. He said, "We have a very simple but effective speaker simulation." This was part of the breadcrumbs. The tide was turning from synthesizers to guitars, and the Kemper Profiler was debuted a year later at NAMM 2011. Another question I pondered was, are synthesizers actually getting weaker relative to the technology available today? When I look back, I can name so many digital synthesizers that are closer to the Access Virus than modern releases today. It's not pretty, but back in 2005, the Alesis Fusion was also released, and while I know nobody is clamoring for a reissue, it had sample playback, FM, virtual analog, and physical modeling, 32-part multitimbrality, and up to 190 voices. It had SPDIF in and out, and even ADAT in and out, and 8 separate audio outputs. Manufactured until 2005, the Hartman Neuron sporting SPDIF in and out, 6 individual audio outputs, allowing hardware 5.1 capabilities, USB to PC connectivity for their own software called Model Maker, allowing you to create and explore with resynthesizing sound design. I'd say today that there are 3 definite digital synthesizers, all within different classes that keyboardists and synthesists look to as far as this era, and all for different reasons. The Waldorf Quantum, Yamaha Montage, and ASM Hydrosynth Deluxe Edition. I'm an owner of the Quantum, and while I think it's absolutely 100 times more visually pleasing to sound design with than the Virus, the ability to do this within a plugin would be invaluable. As well, the I/O capabilities in the hardware form on the Quantum are sorely lacking. Just a pair of outputs, so no 5.1, no digital I/O, and it's
I never saw a Quantum, but it looks quite cool with the screen.
only 16 voices. It's 8 parts multitimbral, but with 16 voices, that's not really impressive. The Yamaha Montage only has a pair of stereo outputs, no digital I/O, and while its capabilities are huge with 128 voices and 16-part multitimbrality and a beautiful screen, I wouldn't say it's better. It's different, and it comes 18 years later. The ASM Hydrosynth, only a pair of stereo in and outs, no audio over USB, no
I'm gonna skip here.
an editor as standard or digital ins and outs, 5.1.
This is what I mean. I mean, like, his virus is looking so pristine, and it's looking to me like it was never really in use. And this is what I see with most viruses. This is not a pun necessarily, but look at those virgin knobs and those are the OG knobs. As I said, you can't buy the original knobs from the virus line as far as I am concerned. I checked, and there's only other solutions, you know, knobs that would obviously fit, that have also the T-shape. But yeah, that is a virgin synthesizer. He's more a connoisseur of synthesizers than somebody who is hands-on working with them a lot, it looks like to me. But I don't want to be too judgmental or something. It's just an observation that I do often.
One hardware capabilities or even audio over USB? Obviously not, but in a world of synthesis and exploration, isn't it nice to know with the Virus TI, an almost 20-year-old synthesizer, you can? While I accept that the landscape of digital synthesis has drastically changed over the last 2 decades, some things haven't. Users still crave for features like hands-on knob per function interfaces, vast amounts of high-quality effects and sound shaping abilities, tons of great usable presets, constant firmware updates, an overall playable instrument wrapped into an insanely affordable package. Software can offer many improvements that hardware like the TI could not. That said, even the best software synths have limitations, such as Arturia's own Pigments with only 32 voices of polyphony in 2024. So nothing is perfect. In August of 2020,
It's not how I measure the quality of a synth. It's definitely not by its polyphonic capabilities alone. It is something maybe to look at for him, specifically if you hear the sounds he's into, you know, a lot of really classic synth pads and leads and so forth.
2023, the Waldorf Kira was discontinued. This is
All right.
It could still not replace its predecessor's heritage. Anticipated as Akira being released and discontinued, plugins fortunately has created an access via its successors, but it does not. It still stands tall atop a heap of synthesizers that pale in comparison. The sound of it is subjective, but its capabilities are objectively head and shoulders above synthesizers that, even though they have the advantage.
I agree. I totally agree with that, and that's a good way to end this video. What do you think? I mean, everybody knows that I'm a huge lover of the Virus line, of course. I want to upgrade to other legendary old synthesizers, but the ones that I want, they cost quite a bit of money, in my opinion. For me, $1,000 is quite a bit of money, so yeah. I hope that you enjoyed this video. This is something a little bit different, of course. As I said, I want to keep it at a minimum. If you still enjoyed the video, then leave a like. I also will leave a link to the original channel, of course, that produced this very well produced content here. And shout out to him for this nice video. Hope that you're all having a great day. Don't forget that you are beautiful. And much love from the Parandroid Studios. I see you guys next time. Cheers.